Hello, and welcome to another edition of CommerceIQ's Retail News Roundup. Where we go and gather around, 3 or 4 articles from around the web about what you need to know to understand the state of retail e-commerce. And we have another 4 articles for you today, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to go over them. And if you want to read any of these articles, they are all links for all are given in the comment section off to the side. The first article here is taken from Bloomberg, and it covers Amazon's earnings. It came out last week, so of course we have to dedicate an article to that. Amazon's dreaded day 2 is too close for comfort. Amazon released mixed earnings last week for its Q4 earnings report. Generally, the consensus was that Amazon Web Services growing slower than expected, contributing less than a lot of analysts would have liked to the overall business. It was the first year that Amazon suffered a loss, a profit loss, essentially in its history. So a bit of a negative news there. But on the positive side, the loss was not as large as some were expecting, and at the same time, e-commerce growth, still continued. I think higher than, more so than a lot of analysts would have guessed into through the end of 2022. So where this leaves us, and I think my opinion on this essentially is yes, while Amazon may be slowing down, it's kind of a natural result of its size and kind of saturation of the e-commerce market. That being said, it is still growing e-commerce faster than in-store sales in general are growing across retail as a whole. So e-commerce, the share of e-commerce as a share of total retail continues to grow, and Amazon is doing basically a good job of holding on to its share. So it still is going to be extremely important moving forward. This is not really, don't take Amazon's drop in stock price as a threat to its dominance within e-commerce. It's just kind of a natural stage of the evolution of where Amazon is at as a retailer, though it still shows all signs of kind of essentially retaining its power and influence within the realm of retail e-commerce. Next article here is a bit of a different one, but it's from payments. Target Shipped unit launches 5-city pilot to help small retailers grow. And this is more of a charitable initiative where Shipped is essentially giving money to very small local retailers if they kind of do this ladder up accelerator program to fight food insecurity. But I think it's indicative of something larger, and that's why I've included it here. And you can search for articles like this if you like. But Target's just one of the retailers doing this, and I think it's kind of doing this to support not just these charitable initiatives, but also to build a deeper relationship with local smaller retailers that might not have the fulfillment network that it has through Shipped and through just kind of in-house Target capabilities. And you see both Amazon and Walmart doing something similar with Walmart's Go Local program as well, where they're essentially trying to get retailers on board with using Walmart or using Target as a fulfillment service to ship their goods. So in that instance, it would be a competitor like Target, actually providing fulfillment services for other retailers. And I think this is kind of, again, a natural next step if you think of how just the sheer scale and size of Walmart and Target and other retailers, to some extent, if you have reached a certain point of saturation where you can't achieve breakout growth anymore with your target market, you look at new verticals to expand into. And I think this is just one example of Target looking at new verticals to expand into and expand engagement and reach, in this instance, with smaller local retailers through this ladder up program. So I think this is just indicative and emblematic of that. And the other article here, the third article here, is also from payments, and it's entitled Instacart Debuts Scan and Pay at New York City Grocer Food Seller. And this is where Instacart's looking at getting more involved in-store shopping, in that they're releasing a number of new features, one of which is a shopping cart, Instagram-branded smart shopping cart that can essentially, you can put items into it, you scan them, it knows what you have in it, and it will allow you to kind of check out under Instacart while having an in-store experience. This is kind of a similar thing. It's similar to that part of that called Scan and Pay. This is more of a mobile application, or not even an app, just a mobile functionality. You scan a QR code when you go in to this food seller market in New York City, and you can then anything you scan, it opens up a site on a mobile browser, and then anything you scan on that, you can scan through that site. Anything you scan gets added to your list, and you can check out via Instacart at food seller in person. Interesting that it's not limited to an app, so you can just, even if you haven't heard of it before, you can show up and scan it on your phone and try it, without any sort of pre-planning necessary. But also Instacart getting more into the in-store shopping space with smart technologies that kind of enable cross-functionality between what you buy online at Instacart and what you buy in store, which makes a lot of sense. And if you notice kind of a theme throughout these past 3 articles I've shared, it's that when a retailer or organization reaches saturation of its core market or is worried about approaching that saturation, they'll look to expand into new verticals. And that's kind of the common theme running throughout all of these. And that takes us to our 4th article here from Digital Commerce 360. Really less of an article and more of a report summary, but it's interesting and worth a look. Amazon and Alibaba lead in cross-border e-commerce. Just kind of an update on who are the leaders in cross-border e-commerce, Amazon, Alibaba leading, but also not necessarily as dominant as they once were, especially when it comes to US-based sites like Amazon and how online shoppers in other countries order from them. It's becoming less frequent. That is in part due to an especially strong dollar of the past year. And I think you're seeing growth in kind of that other category as well, where you have a more diverse lineup of other retailers that shoppers are ordering from, across national borders. So again, general theme of, once you saturate one market, you try to expand into another, or saturate one industry, expand into another. It's kind of a common thing that's happening right now across a lot of retailers and a lot of e-commerce players, especially as many are concerned as to where the next big bump in growth will come from. So I hope you enjoyed that. That is our 4 articles for the week. If you want to read them, again, the links are off to the side in the comments section. And so I hope you will enjoy those. And again, we have this news roundup of 4 different articles every week. So I hope to see you again next week. And I just hope you have a great rest of your week.